Today let us see argument passing in Java. In general, there are two ways we can pass an argument to a function or method. The first way is call by value. In this approach, only the value of the argument copied into the parameters of the method or function. If any changes made to the parameters of the method will not affect the actual arguments. The second way an argument can be passed is call by reference. In this approach, reference to the argument, not the value of the argument, passed to the parameters in methods. That passed reference will be used to access the actual argument specified in the method call. This means that the changes made to the parameter will affect the arguments. In Java, the arguments are passed by value to parameters when we invoke a method, but based on the type of variable, the effect will differ. When we pass a primitive type to a method, it uses the call by value. When you pass a reference type to the method, it will behave like call by reference. But here also only copy of reference will be passed, but not the original reference. Let us understand this by taking simple example. First let us see when we pass a primitive type to a method as argument. Here I am taking Java class pass by value. Here there is one swap method with two parameters. This swap method will swap these two integers n1 and n2 by using temporary variable. To understand the effect of call by value when we pass primitive type in this method, here I am printing n1 and n2 before swapping and after swapping. Here I created another class pass by value demo to write the main method and invoke the swap method. Here I am taking two integers n1 and n2 and initialized with values 1 and 2. Here swap is the instance method. So we need to create the object for this class pass by value. To call this method swap. So here I created this object obj of this class pass by value. Now with this object reference obj, we can call this instance method. While calling any method, arguments must match the parameters in order, in number, and type of argument must be compatible with the parameters. Here both n1 and n2 are of type int and we have two parameters. So we need to pass two parameters of type int. So here we are passing two arguments num1 and num2. Here also we are printing num1 and num2 before the swap and after the swap. Let us run this program. Before the swap num1 is 1 and num2 is 2. Within the swap method, before the swapping we have n1 values and after the swap we have n1 has 2 and n2 has value 1. But within the main num1 is still 1 and num2 is still 2. Means the values of the arguments are not changed after the method is invoked. Let us see what will happen in memory when we run this program. When this main method starts executing, its stack frame or activation record will be created in stack memory. In this program we have two variables num1 and num2 with values 1 and 2. So in the main method activation record, memory will be allocated for this num1 and num2 and they have values 1 and 2. When swap method is invoked, another activation record will be created. In that swap method we have three local variables temp, n1 and n2. This n1 and n2 will get the values from this num1 and num2. When these three statements executed, temp will get value 1 which is copied from the n1 value. The values of n1 and n2 will be swapped. So we got n1 2 and n2 1. Here this both n1 and n2 have own memory locations independent from this num1 and num2. Therefore changes in this n1 and n2 will not affect the actual arguments num1 num2. Suppose if we change the parameter names n1 to num1, n2 to num2, it makes no difference. Here these parameters are just local variables to this method swap. So they will have their own memory space in this swap method activation record. When this swap method completed its execution, this activation record will be destroyed. Means this will be removed from the stack memory. So these variables temp1, n1 and n2 will no longer available. After completion of this swap method, this activation record will be destroyed. When this main method completes its execution, its activation record will also be destroyed from the stack memory. Then program will end. Let us see the summary. In general, there are two ways to pass arguments to methods. One called by value, another one called by reference. In the second approach, the reference to the argument passed to the parameters, not the value. To pass those references also, Java uses call by value. Means Java uses call by value to pass all the arguments, but the effect will differ based on the which type we are passing. If we pass the primitive type, it will work like call by value. If we pass the reference type, it will work like call by reference. Next class we'll see this call by reference. Here we have seen call by value. From the main method we have passed primitive types num1, num2 to this swap method. This swap method made the changes to this n1 and n2. These changes will not affect the num1 and num2 in main method, since this n1 and n2 scope is different and their memory locations are in this activation record. When this swap method returns, they will be destroyed. So those changes which were made within this swap method will not affect this num1 and num2.